All right, it's Monday or Tuesday, May 27th, 2025, regular session of the Board of Supervisors. The first item on the agenda is the agenda itself and the minutes of May 19th. Vote to approve.
Second.
Motion and second to approve the agenda and minutes presented. Any further comment? All in favor? Aye. Aye. Passes. Any public comment? We'll move on to new business claims.
Claims are prepared and ready, sir. Move to approve it.
Second. Motion and a second to approve the claims as presented. Any further comment there? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes. Any payroll?
Warrant register for period ending 5/17/2025. Next.
We have a motion and a second to approve the payroll warrant as presented. Any further comment there? All in favor? Aye. Item number 3, Mr. Auditor, any drainage?
I have no new drainage to report.
Okay, and we're gonna skip down to item number 6, which is authorize the chair to sign the First Amendment to the child support staffing contract between the Iowa Department of Health and Human Services, Child Support Services in Cerro Gordo County, which I believe is kind of an annual thing, correct, Michelle?
I'll move to approve.
Second. We have a motion and a second to approve item 6 as presented. Any further comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item number 7, or Tom.
Yeah, this is a 3-year agreement with the courthouse employee. And it's, the first year, the wage increase of 2.75%. Here's 2 and 3 have a wage. Up for your consideration.
I'll move to approve.
Second. Motion and a second to approve the collective bargaining agreement as presented in item 7. Any further comment? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Brandon, you want to get started?
Sure. So we're gonna do our first shouldering down Balsam, which is the road that Ragbri is gonna be on. We're gonna do that now, and then we'll touch it up again right before Ragbri starts. I'll be adding some rock and just pulling some back, so there'll be a bunch of work happening out there. It needs it in general, so that's why we're doing it so early, even though we know we're gonna have to touch it up for Ragbri, but it's gonna eliminate 90% of the work we have to do when it gets closer to the date. And it just gives it some more time to settle in and be solid, so we don't have any surprise shoulder issues, I guess, when actual Ragbri happens.
Do they dictate closing that at all, or?
No, the law enforcement will just be out there to help guide the whole thing. I mean, it's just kind of happens. I'm not sure how to explain it.
A lot of bikers on that road.
Well, I mean, they run the show
Yeah.
from when I've ever been involved over in Clear Lake they come in and tell you basically how it's gonna be.
Yeah. It just kind of happens. You make sure that the road's ready and they handle the rest. They were pretty well figured out at this point, so we try not to get in the way of them. So that's our major thing for getting ready for them. The stuff that we have at the Mason City shop for the auction, I got that all listed on Gov Deals. The auction will begin on Wednesday and it'll run for 12 days. So I'll let you know the results of that when it's done. It has our stuff, some conservation stuff and some public health stuff on it. So anybody can bid on it. I did mislist one thing, so an air compressor started on Friday instead of on Wednesday next week, but it doesn't matter, it's still running the correct amount of days. It's just, I clicked the button wrong instead of having it wait, it started automatically. So if anybody's interested in government used, we'll say very well used items, they are listed. As far as our projects go, the 66 paving, they're trying to get paved all the way down to 150th Street, southbound lane, which is the end of the project. And I believe the surface will all be done, so be waiting on shoulders and paint on that, so that's progressing well. So that one will hopefully be finished up depending on weather next couple of weeks here. And I'll be doing our paperwork side of that one.
Is that 5 miles?
I think it's 4 miles.
Yeah.
That wasn't a real big one. That's, we're currently also working on getting
Okay. Hold for a minute there, Brandon. It's 10:05, and at this time I'll open the public hearing on the FY 25 budget amendment. Right, speak this.
Sure. This is the first amendment for the fiscal year 25 budget. We will proposing to amend revenues and other sources, 2,049,000, and expenditures and other uses, $969,000. Want to very quick rundown of the highlights?
Sure.
Okay, for revenue, local option taxes and hotel motel taxes were budgeting to bring in roughly another 130,000 budgeted. Interest income on our investments and a little bit of land rent, we're up $303,000 from what we had budgeted. We've, as you know, we've sold some land and we did not have that budgeted a year and a half ago. So I have put that in there as well. Public health, we have decreased their property tax transfer, $865,000. So you'll see that as a decrease in our revenues, but also a decrease in our expenditures. On the expenditure side, one of the big things is our some of our capital projects, which we did not know a year and a half ago. Conservation, our jail upgrades. So we have the money in the capital projects fund, but we're spending that, so we need to amend that budget.
Conservation totally paid, no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, totally paid. We're still in the midst of the jail upgrade project. And when I talked with the sheriff and the contractors, they thought maybe 80% would be done by the end of June. And so we're amending those expenses into it.
Cool. Anybody else in public comment?
I'll move and close it for the public hearing.
Second. Motion and second to close public hearing. Until downstairs, all in favor? Aye. Item number is resolution for the budget amendment, and item B, resolution for the supplemental appropriation.
I move to approve resolution 2025-40 for A.
I'll second.
Motion and a second to approve resolution 40 on the budget amendment. Any further comment? All in favor? Aye. And B,
Resolution 41.
Second.
we have a motion and a second to approve resolution 41 on the supplemental appropriations. Any further comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes. Brandon, do you have anything else there?
Yeah, I was just gonna give an update that we're working on our shared project with Clear Lake, trying to get the right of way, all that stuff established for that shared bridge project. We're also working on our Thrush project and our S34 project are the ones that are working on developing to get done in the next fiscal year. So, other than that, for our maintenance stuff, I mean, there's a whole bunch of tile work we're working on that's taking up the majority of our time besides what we're doing for graveling. So that's, I guess, you guys have any other questions or issues for me?
Equipment.
We have one motor grader down. It has bent valves somehow. So that's at CAT right now, getting looked at, figuring out what's going on with it. But other than that, it's all up and going. We have one truck at Chrysteel that's gonna start being built at July 1st, and the second one will head up there a few weeks after that.
Your other grader?
Yeah, the grader that we purchased out of this fiscal year did arrive. One thing we're missing is a piece of snow gear, but that doesn't matter at this point. They'll bring it to us. And we did receive the skid loader that we're gonna rent until July 1st. It's just, we have to wait till the insurance stuff all works out before we start using it.
We'll hold it there. Is this gonna be on phone, Sandy, or all on here?
In Franklin County, looks like they're both on.
Okay.
Well, let me unmute them first.
Stay here.
Hear you, but we're making sure that they can talk.
Everybody look like they're. All right, it's 10:10. Start our joint drainage district meeting on District 13186. Form one up. All right. Sandy, you want to start us out here?
Sure. I've got the change order number 1 with Ludovici, the contractor, and pay request number 2, I think it is, for the trustees to consider this morning. For the first 2 items for this district.
Franklin County, can you guys hear us? You're on mute. Franklin, can you unmute yourself? Finally. You unmute him, Bob?
They have to do it.
You can't go over to the microphone just to the left. Yeah, it's on there.
Hancock County, can you hear us?
Katie says
You want to do the dialing?
they need to unmute themselves. It's set up correctly. It's on there and they'll have to unmute themselves. They have access. He just verified it. They should be able to hear us. I just that's Katie.
Oh, that's right, they can do this.
He says it only says participants can unmute. They are able to unmute.
You want me to trace this?
You want to call her, that's fine, but. I don't know why Teams is not working.
No.
Oh, no, we heard everything you're saying, so we're good. And we're unmuted.
Can you hear us now? This is Hancock County.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, sorry.
You got anybody from Franklin?
I got her on the phone here.
Do it,
Who's all present in Cerro Gordo County?
Supervisors, Callahan and GNAP and Watts, along with our auditor and 2 deputy auditors, county engineer, administrative services, and a guest in the audience, and our budget director.
Hold on 1 second.
Is this Franklin?
Yeah.
80? Who's
Yeah,
all?
give me 1 second.
He's gonna try to unmute again.
Okay, we have all 3 supervisors.
You went dark on us again. On the phone also.
Get themselves there. See what she says.
So did we approve this 13,000? It looks like we did.
No, that's what you're doing today.
So here's what they've done for the extra 13,000. I see that. I see that. So they're just asking permission to do that. You will get these like no other. Yeah. Project. Yeah.
They have no service in their room.
I wonder if we can get them, can we get them just to call this? By chance? Or number?
Try.
Put them on speaker.
Sounds like they don't have.
Anything?
Action.
Try something else here, Franklin. Hold on. Hancock.
My fear is that they may cause backfeeding.
Yeah.
So I would prefer if they call
Okay.
the go-to meetings number that they have, or the Teams meeting.
Pulled the poll down, some MediaCom people were happy to be out on Memorial Day.
Especially with the Timberwolves and the game.
I forgot to ask Andy, he probably.
Yeah,
That makes a disaster down there.
You know, played.
I know, I'm just kidding.
They would be on your.
Yeah, they're on.
Thank you. What's he saying?
Oh.
I sent them the numbers to call, and obviously they can connect, but they can't get them mic to connect, so.
Thing we got, Bob.
It's set up correctly. I sent them the call, they have the call number, correct?
I just Googled it. It's set up correctly.
Apparently it's.
Auto recorder or.
What happens to me is when you bring up my Teams, it doesn't always refresh microphone, so you have to change which microphone you're trying to use, and then you can get it to work.
Stuff, they're working on troubleshooting.
It's always great under pressure to get that to work too.
This might be the 456.
Yeah.
That's a Hampton number.
Oh, I allowed Mike, now they need to unmute themselves.
Katie, you'll want to unmute yourself from whoever called on the 456 number. And you should be able to talk. Yeah,
Yeah, she should be able to unmute herself now.
yep, you raised your hand, so now you should be able to unmute.
You did a great job today, though, Ian, getting everything.
Hey, try that again. Are you talking there, Franklin County?
She is, because Michelle's gone today, then next month, she's gone. Pregnant a couple, the 16th, yeah.
You should see a microphone with a line through it on your screen somewhere, or 3 dots possibly. I'm not sure how it looks on your screen, but ours
Do you want us to call you?
shows that.
Not terrible, but we can call you.
Should be that one right up there in the upper right.
She's- All right, we'll call you. You can wait, but.
Hancock County, how did you guys unmute? Can you share that with Franklin County? They can't find the
I
unmute
hit
button.
*6 on my phone.
Katie, did you hear that? Hit *6.
There you go.
Can you
Oh,
hear us still?
no longer muted. Can you hear us now?
We can hear you.
We can.
Franklin, sorry for the delay. Franklin County, we have Supervisors Lukensmeyer, McVicker, myself, Vanessa, Colette Bruns, our drainage clerk, and of course Auditor Flint, who's been panicking, trying to get this thing call going. So, we apologize for the delay.
All right, Sandy, you want to get us started?
So before all of you should
Hold on,
be,
didn't do Hancock.
oh, that's right.
No, we haven't announced ourselves yet. Yeah, the diligent people who are here. So Ann Hinders, our master of ceremonies today, getting us all in, drainage clerk. Bud Germelin, Gary Rahan, Sis Greiman, let's see, we have 2 members of the press and, 3, members of the public.
Thank you, sis. Sandy, and please stop us if you cannot hear Sandy. Go ahead.
So before all of you, you should have the pay request, number 2 and change order number 1 with Ludo Vissi, all related to Joint Drainage District 13186 main open ditch. So we would need, the trustees to approve those 2 items. That's what's before you this morning.
The first item up is change order number 1.
I move to approve.
We have a motion by Callahan.
Raymond, second.
Okay, and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
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 We have 3 ayes
ayes.
and
All eyes in Hancock.
all ayes in Cerro Gordo. Franklin?
Yeah, all eyes in Franklin.
Thank you. Motion passes. Item number 2 is pay application 2 for Little Vissi.
I move to approve.
Motion by Carl Knapp,
Second by Vanessa Franklin.
we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion there? All in favor?
Aye.
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 All ayes in Cerro Gordo.
Hey, Gary.
Pardon me?
So all eyes in Hancock.
Okay. And Franklin?
All eyes in Franklin.
Motion passes. Item number 3 is the $284,000 assessment. Did you want to talk about that?
Sure. Before you is a resolution to order the assessment to this joint drainage district. Our best estimate for an assessment in the main open ditch today is $284,000. So Cerro County approves orders assessments by resolution. If you were to adopt that resolution, that would be the next order of events or of action.
I move resolution number 42.
We have a motion on resolution.
Second, Jermelin and Hancock.
Seconded it. Okay, we have a motion and a second to order the assessment.
I'm sorry.
Case. Callahan.
Yep.
Thank you.
Motion and a second to approve the assessment as presented there. Any further discussion on that? All in favor of item C is presented here? Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All
All
eyes
eyes
in
in-
Hancock.
All ayes in Cerro Gordo.
All eyes in Franklin.
All right, unless there's anything else, thank you for joining Hancock and Franklin.
Thank you.
Have a good week, everyone.
Yep, Same.
Thank you. They had to change a little bit.
Who?
I haven't gone all year.
Brandon, did you have any? Brandon, did you have any?
Unless you guys had any questions. As far as I know, I guess I tried Clear Lake. As far as I know, went well this weekend. Yeah, I didn't hear anything. I was hoping, I was checking my phone Saturday morning just to make sure.
I mean, I saw the barricades, so it's assuming they were picking them up today.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, moving on, item number 9, we have 2 appointments, Michelle.
Yes, Cindy Davis would like to be reappointed on Veteran Affairs, and Paul recommended that as well as the commission.
I'll move to approve A and B as presented.
Second. We have a motion and a second to approve items A and B. Item B being Bill Phillips to the North Iowa corridor. Any further comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. And now we're on to Russell, CICS update.
Morning. Chris had asked me to come up. I don't know how much of an update or how long you want me to take. We are closing as an MHDS region, technically July 1, but we have closeout activities that will take place through December 31. So as bills come in, we have to process those bills, close down whatever we need to close down, and then we'll have an audit in November for FY25. We'll have to figure out when we're going to do the audit for FY26, but it'll be after everything's done. One of the things that happens then in light of that is we've been asking counties to make sure that you get bills in, like sheriff's bills, transportation, meds, mental health advocate, all of those bills in, because after January 1 will be gone, or January 1 will be gone. So any bills you have after that, Cerro Gordo County will just have to pay those on your own. So I don't think we've ever had really an issue with you folks getting bills in. July 1, then, we start work as a disability access point in 3 districts in Iowa, and we will be covering 44 counties that go from Spirit Lake over to Waukon, all the way down to Fort Madison. It won't include a bump out in the middle of eastern Iowa. That includes Dubuque, Scott, Blackhawk, Lynn, Johnson, so that kind of big group there. But otherwise, if you take the state and kind of cut it in about half, then of course that's the area we'll be covering. There's a difference in our scope. It's a broader geographic footprint, narrower scope. What currently we do primarily is we coordinate services for people with disabilities, primarily intellectual and other developmental disabilities, mental health, and brain injuries. And we also fund those services, and we do service development. So we've been involved in a lot of expanding services in different places. Beginning in July, we will only do care coordination. We won't do funding primarily for services, and we won't do service development. Our current budget is about $23 million, and we cover 15 counties. In July, our budget will be about $4 million, and we will cover 44 counties. So you can see there's a definite difference in scope. We also will not deal with a lot of behavioral health stuff that you've dealt with a lot of your life. So we won't be involved in things like outpatient, crisis, recovery, treatment, those sorts of things go to the Behavioral Health Administrative Service Organization, which Iowa gave the contract for all 7 districts to the Iowa Primary Care Association. You have a primary health here in Cerro Gordo, so you're familiar. I would believe with their work. The individual primary health folks are not the ones doing it. It's their statewide association. So similar to, it wouldn't be Cerro Gordo doing something, it might be the Iowa State Association of Counties. So it's kind of that sort of a setup. So what we'll be doing is we will still have staff that do care coordination, and it's primarily like long-term services and supports, supported community living, supported employment, residential care facilities. When you think of your providers here in town, that'd be like 43 North Iowa, your largest provider in town here, that we will continue to work with John and his crew and have a good working relationship with them. We still plan on having 2 folks here. The folks we have here right now, we have Jessica and Angie. Angie will stay up here. Jessica will move over to Garner and kind of branch out more towards the west. And then we'll bring Starla up from Hampton. Starla was up here for a while, and then we moved her down to Hampton more. So you'll still have 2 folks here. In order to control our costs a little better, we're going to co-locate with Elderbridge Area Agency on Aging. And we're actually doing that in a lot of our counties. So we're going to co-locate with Elderbridge over in Spencer. And we're already co-locating in Fort Dodge, and then we're going to do it here. And then we're going to co-locate with NEI 3A Northeast Iowa Area Agency on Aging up in Decorah. We're going to co-locate with Prairie Ridge in Marshalltown, and we'll co-locate with Pathways in Waverly. And then right now we're in conversation with folks looking at potential co-location with Elevate and maybe a mental health center in South Central Iowa. And then we'll continue to have an office in Hampton. So those would be kind of our locations. The intent is that we would have a presence in every community, which up here is going to be easy because we'll have staff here. But the intent of the department is to make sure that people know who we are and that we're out and in all of the counties. Currently, CICS does have offices in each county. Given our restricted budget, we can't do that next year, but we definitely can make sure that we have people involved in each of those communities. So if they have landing spots, whether we have partners like you folks that they can land there, or a public library, or meet clients in their homes, that would be the intent in the future. So that's kind of, in a nutshell, the difference. We're still going to have approximately the same number of staff. We put in a proposal for all 7 districts, and we were awarded 3 of those. So CICS has the largest number of counties and largest districts overall of the state. We did not get District 5, which represents about 7 of our current counties. So we are offboarding the individuals in those counties and then onboarding individuals in the other counties. We're currently in the process of advertising and hiring staff. And of the people that currently work for CICS, or I should say worked for CICS 6 months ago or a year ago, we only have 2 folks right now from District 5 that have not found other jobs. And we have some people that will be leaving here this month, some in the middle of next month, and we're still hoping the other 2 people are able to find other jobs. We were able to keep a lot of our current staff because of where we're geographically located. We're in the middle of the state. So when you look at the 3 districts we picked up, we have staff in all 3 of those districts already. And so we were able to keep those staff, and then some folks will go either further east, west, north, south, and that's.
And the office is going to be in Franklin.
Our corporate office currently is in Story. We're going to move the corporate office to Franklin. Yes, sir.
So the services that are no longer under your purview, which I know was not your personal decision, we as elected officials, a lot of times are troubleshooting for constituents. Those that are no longer under your auspice, what would be the best place to point them in the right direction? Somebody comes to us and they assume because we've had our fingers in it in the past, we don't any longer. Where do you direct that traffic to?
Yeah, the Iowa Primary Care Association is responsible to make
And I
sure
know that's how you kind of let it
here. Yeah, and what I would encourage is that you start your communication with them right now. They should be in the same process we are about making sure they're hiring staff. I know that they're actually, because I know people who've been interviewing and they have identified that they're hiring people. I don't know where they're at necessarily in north central Iowa. I believe they told me that when the last time we met, they haven't had as many applicants as they would like in District 1, or excuse me, District 2, but you're in District 3. And Cerro Gordo has always been a hub. So you have a lot of people with experience and background in human services that hopefully have applied for or could apply for those jobs. I don't know right now where they're at with hiring. They do meet with the CEO group from MHDS Regions. We had a meeting with them, I'm thinking 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it was a shorter meeting. Usually we meet with them about an hour or so. We had been told from the Department of Health and Human Services that we would have ongoing meetings with them, and they would come out and meet with folks. And they did do that once pretty early on, February, March, somewhere in there. They did that. But I don't know if they're meeting like with your sheriff's department, law enforcement, any of your provider agencies. I haven't heard that they are, but they might be.
Second big question was the agreement.
In 2080.
Right, and Jasper and Story are the only 2 that opted out because they won't be in the district.
Correct. Correct.
The recommendation is to stay with the CICS and stay with it.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah, it's completely up to you, of course, if you want to withdraw, but Cerro Gordo County's been a part of CICS since you joined in 21. And it's up to you if you want to continue to be a part of the 2080. The Iowa code, the changes in Iowa code remove the requirement to have a mental health and disability services region. So the governing board did change the 28E and it will go into effect in July. The changes will basically change from being a mental health and disability services region to a health and human services agency. So Iowa code 28E still exists. We're still allowed to have an intergovernmental agreement to provide the services and supports that disability access points will. So we will still be here. And I don't know that we're necessarily saying we should have all 44 counties sign the 28E. I don't know that there's a restriction that they can't. That's up to the governing board. We would not, however, have 44 people on the governing board. You guys historically have been a part of county social services. I'm sure you understand the dynamics and it's very difficult to get that many people available and free and participating. And if you look at the requirements we have with other individuals being a member and you add those into 44 people, then you'll have a lot of people. And it just, I think, would be untenable. But that's a decision the board will make. The 2080 did. Part of the change was to still have a limited number of individuals on the board. So it won't open it up to be that big for board, but like Chris still zooms in every meeting and participates and asks questions. And so it's still an opportunity for Cerro Gordo County to be involved. Chris knows my number. He gives me a call or texts me when he has questions on things. So it's certainly an option for Cerro Gordo. Folks have until June 30 to decide that they want to leave. I haven't heard from other folks that they are looking at leaving. We did have an email last week from, I believe, Marshall County, wanting to know what the situation was in Marshall County. Marshall County, like you, is in District 3, so they would still be covered by the work that CICS does. So it's up to them.
Update. You're welcome. Appreciate it, Russell.
Thank you.
I know it's not like driving from Franklin County anymore, so.
No, I drove up from Ames this morning, which is, but Tom hasn't seen me for a while, so he was glad I was here.
All right, with that in mind, any correspondence, communication, announcements?
Just had a text message from Auditor Flint, Franklin County. They apologize for the technical difficulties. So,
Good. We have a motion and a second to adjourn. Any further comment? All in favor? Aye. We are adjourned at 10:37. Thank you. And thanks for the very long.